Welcome to Diaspora UA, channel who works with Ukrainian diaspora in United States and other countries, and we're trying to unite our people, and we're trying to explain and deliver all possible and impossible information what's going on in Ukraine, especially in the time of war. I'm Oksana Davyda, and my guest today is US veteran, great man who knows what it means war, what it means to fight for our country, for our freedom, which what he was doing for a long time. Andrey Azarkin, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Andrew, as you know, we were discussing with you very serious issue, which came from Tulsi Gabbard, our new star. We're not going to talk about her leaving the Democratic Party. We're not going to talk why she did it, what she's doing with that decision. But she's on mass media. She's very popular. She's a great-looking gal. She's brilliant in some way. She knows how to say, how to talk. And I was actually shocked when I witness. She's given a lot of interview those days, and one of most famous and very loud was her interview with another star, Joe Rogan. And I think they spent like 15 minutes with conversation about Ukraine. So Tulsi Gabbard, she's a woman who knows what it means to be on the front line. She spent, I believe, some time in Iraq. And she was part of our deployment, and I don't know exactly what she was doing there, but she was representing United States on other territory as a part of our mission. And her expertise or her opinion about what she sees in Ukraine and what solution she's offering, it's kind of shocking to me. And first, her phrase, she compared our Biden, President of the United States, to Adolf Hitler. It was kind of shocking, but why she's doing that? She thinks, and she blames him for that. He's doing too much for Ukraine. He's supporting Ukraine too much. And by doing that, by sending help to Ukraine, military aid and money to different projects to support Ukrainian fight for freedom, he's doing kind of bad thing for United States of America, because in her opinion, everything he's doing for Ukraine works for delivering World War III danger, nuclear war to the whole world, specifically to United States. She was doing some interesting comparison about what it means to be involved in World War III, what it means to have danger of nuclear explosion. She was criticizing how bad American people are informed about danger of nuclear war. She was even complaining, we don't have shelters, we don't have this, and we so much afraid of that nuclear button, which Putin, how we call him, Putler here, he is gonna use that button as a last thing what he can do to win this war, because he's losing this war. But you know what shocked me? Why she's talking about United States like about third country? Like, we are not the most powerful army. We are not the most powerful part of NATO. We are not a country with the most powerful and strong military system, defense system. She's talking like we some country in the jungle, and we just in mercy of Mr. Putin, how she calls him, because we cannot protect ourselves, we cannot protect our citizens from that future possible nuclear war. So it's like first shocking thing, what shocked me. And second, she's saying, well, Ukraine supposed to go to negotiation with Putin. Ukraine has to do it because there is no other way to prevent us from World War III. What is your opinion about her words about that?
Well,
as a man who knows what it means.
Right. Well, first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. And it's quite interesting, you know, that Tulsi Gabbard compares Biden with Hitler, when Biden compared Republicans with fascists. Okay, that's quite interesting. Right now they're blaming each other of being fascist, but while both being Democrat, or at least, you know, Tulsi Gabbard, she announced that she left Democratic Party, although she spent so much time in Democratic Party, and maybe she got some kind of indoctrination there or something. And what I would like to say that the United States Army, United States military, it does not mean that every veteran is a smart person. Okay, there are many people who are the ex-veterans, right? The ex-military, they're veterans, and they have been in politics, but they say very strange, very unprofessional or inadequate things about not just Ukraine, about just about anything, you know. For example, Max Rose, also a veteran. He's been in Iraq just like I did, but as a politician, I don't understand how he can where he got this opinion, where he got this, you know, the outlook from. So what I'm trying to say, that the military, just like any other institution, has many opinions, many different people, and not necessarily all of them are bright, especially as politicians. And we know that actually most ex-military, they don't really make great politicians, because they think differently. Okay, so when it comes to Tulsi Gabbard, like I said, it's quite interesting that she compared Biden to Hitler, and I'm tired of virtue signaling, to be honest with you, because I don't think it's very helpful in helping Ukraine, just blaming each other and saying that we need to negotiate. The truth is, in my opinion, that every war ends with negotiation. The problem is, and the question is, on which terms? Perhaps, and most likely, this war will also end with some kind of negotiation under their negotiation table. The question is, who will dictate the terms? And I'm hoping, and I'm pretty confident, that will be Ukraine that actually setting up those terms for negotiations. And we know there have been some successful negotiations, for example, for grain exports. You know, there was some kind of agreement, and there is some kind of, I think maybe those negotiations are not direct. Maybe they are happening through mediators, okay? But there was an exchange of prisoners, of people on both sides. So, but what she meant is that she says that, yes, the problem that we have came to the point, unfortunately, we came as a humanity, as the world, we came to the point where the nuclear war is not some kind of like fantasy or some distant possibility. In fact, people talk about it. People talk that it may be real. People say that it's possible. And it's quite scary that we kind of start talking about the nuclear conflict, nuclear war, in the way that it is almost inevitable. You know, my question is, why nobody asks how we came to that point, how we allowed this to happen? And the next question is, we have a doctrine, and we've had a doctrine while there was a Cold War with the Soviet Union, where we also, both sides had nuclear arms and nuclear missiles, and there was a procedure. There was a procedure how to prevent, how to negotiate to prevent this from happening. Now, we should be prepared for, we have to have a plan, the response plan to that kind of situation, because we know that the Putin is blackmailing the world. He's basically blackmailing the world, saying, if I'm not going to get the way I want it, I'm going to use nuclear weapons. We have to give them a very clear signal, send them a very clear signal. Do not even think about it. Instead,
did you remember maybe Biden said something like our previous president said, well, you have button, I have button too, and mine is bigger and mine is working
correct.
because yours is rusty. We did not hear that from Biden, right?
The difference is the difference is between the previous president and the current president is that previous president, no matter, you know, like him or hate him, doesn't matter, but he was respected. The truth is, all those dictators, like North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Chairman Xi and Iranian leaders, mullahs and Putin, they might have hated him, and probably they hated him, but they respected him because he demonstrated the confidence. He was confident. He was basically behaving himself as a world leader, as an American president. He says, I have the power, and I am not hesitating to use it if necessary to protect the free world. So do not even think about it.
No one war started during his presidency.
Exactly.
War was opened by Biden, and here I am agree with Tulsi.
Exactly, and that's true. And the thing is that what Tulsi says about Biden, it's true, but nobody is asking what are we gonna, how we ended up in this way, who actually runs the office, because we know it's not Biden. We know it's not Biden. I mean, I guess we know who it is because we know the statement of the 44th president of the United States. So, and that's a very dangerous situation because there is a mixed signal. We're sending the mixed signal. On one hand, we're saying, yes, we stand with Ukraine, we're going to keep helping them, but unfortunately, it's not enough and it's too slow. On the other hand, the 44th president came out and says, we need to think how we're going to rethink the support for Ukraine, and maybe it's a good idea to negotiate with Putin, you know? And that's really dangerous situation. It sends the wrong message to the world, and it encourages Putin to continue to do what he's doing. There is no united, firm position from the NATO countries, from the White House, from Downing Street, that this type of behavior and escalation is completely unacceptable, and it will be met with severe consequences. He must not even think about it. And unfortunately, we came to the point where we have to openly talk about such a possibility as a nuclear war. And we do not have a plan because honestly, we've never been in such situation. We almost looked at it as some kind of like a science fiction. We saw that in the movies, and we kind of think it's a fake and the movie. It's not real, but it's real. It's here, and to take it lightly, it's also wrong. I mean, hoping for the best, we need to be prepared for the worst and make sure it will not happen. But to do that, we need to have a very firm and strong message from the White House, and not just message in words, but in actions. In my opinion, the best actions would be to provide all necessary military aid to Ukraine as soon as possible. That will be the really great message to Putin, that the United States will not be intimidated, we will not be blackmailed, we will not stop, okay? Your only option, Mr. Putin, is to back off from Ukraine, remove all your troops, withdraw your troops from all Ukrainian territories, including Crimea, and you will have to surrender your nuclear arms.
Yeah, and then we can follow Tulsi's advice to negotiate, absolutely. But she never said about that. I got the impression she is playing somebody's card, or she is just not informed, or she is using that for just self-advertising. And actually, she is misleading Americans because first, again, I was deeply offended as American. I understand. We are much stronger than she described us. We are not a like third country. We have everything possible and impossible to stop and prevent even that thought in Putin's mind about using that battle. And we have absolutely strong preventive system to not make it happen. And she's saying like, oh, we just naked, we just helpless, and Ukraine has to negotiate because there's no other way to stop Putin. She doesn't understand. When Putin is gonna get what he has now, because in her meaning, I mean, she probably wants to give up those 20+% of Ukrainian territory, and she knows like something we don't know. She thinks he will stop. It's like alligator who is eating your left leg. You're going to talk to him and ask, please let me go. No, he's going to eat more and more. And she doesn't get it. And she doesn't talk about it. Second, she's offering negotiation, but she doesn't have a real recipe what we're going to talk about, how we're going to talk about, why we need to do that on like today without anything done from the Putin side to make us ready for that negotiation. Exactly. Negotiation right now is impossible. And she dislikes it. She's criticizing even Ukrainian government because, oh, they don't want to negotiate. Okay, she is a woman who was part of our military aid to Iraq. She knows what it means to be inside war. And I just want to ask her, like, dear Tulsi, when you were deployed to Iraq, did you get paid for your job, which you were doing well, by American government? Yes, by us, people who actually taxpayers. Did you oppose the decision to be present in Iraq? No. At that time, it looked okay for you. So why you have double standards right now? You criticizing Ukraine for accepting American help, and you criticizing America for helping Ukraine, even without American troops. We don't need that. We don't want that. We just need help to stop Putin's aggression, Putin's fascism, and Ukrainian fight for freedom. It's a fight for freedom you advertising, Ms. Tulsi, all the time. So why you want that freedom for America? Why you don't want that freedom for Ukraine? So why you criticizing Biden? Yeah, we're criticizing him too, but we criticize him from different point, because he was the one who opened door to Ukraine. He was the one who asked our president to escape. Actually, he was pushing him for treason. It's impossible. You are the one who did not give us that umbrella to cover our sky. He was the one who is responsible for 100,000 killed civilians. Do you know, dear Tulsi Gabbard, we have Hiroshima and Nagasaki number of civilians casualties in Ukraine already. You probably don't know those numbers because you don't talk about it. You're talking to us about your experience in Chernobyl, how you smell that radiation. Okay, so at least you know. At least you know how dangerous that is. But you don't tell American people, Americans, relax. We know how to respond. We know how to stop that. We know how to use our defense system. Why you don't say that, dear Tulsi Gabbard? So it's just so painful to see smart women giving misinformation to American people. And through Joe Rogan, she has million viewers. And when you read those comments, people kind of support her vision. And it works against Ukraine, it works against freedom, against democracy, and it works against United States. Because I believe in that moment, when almost whole world understands what's going on in Ukraine, with exception of people like Tulsi Gabbard, which is really, really painful for us. I don't know why she's using those double standards. So if we have time machine and we would ask her at that moment when she was helping American troops to do their mission in Iraq, She was part of it. Why she was doing that? Because I think she was sure she's supporting freedom by her action. Why she's changing her opinion right now, and why she's misinforming Americans about what's going on in Ukraine. Woman who knows how war smells has to have her own vision. And woman, we're not talking about just average woman. She's a woman who was trying to run, who was running as a for position of president of United States. Maybe she's ready to do it again. Maybe it's a part of her advertising or self-promotion campaign. I don't know, but I just want to warn our fellow Americans that young lady, she is misinforming you. She's delivering wrong message, and her double standards actually scares me because I cannot trust that person. Even she's trying to show how smart she is. She see what's going on in Democratic Party. Maybe she wants to gain our support right now, like from opposition. I don't know. I don't care. I really feel very offended as an American citizen and as a Ukrainian because she is not delivering right picture. And I think people have to know about that, and we have to see where truth, where is a lie, and where is misinformation. This is kind of my emotional message to Mrs. Tulsi Gabbard, because she has to, you know what, I just got that idea. Maybe if she was in Chernobyl in the past as a part of her military service, I don't know what she was doing there as a tourist or just some training. Maybe now she still has time before election. If her promotion is working for election, I don't know how, but possibly. Maybe she has to buy a ticket to Poland because she cannot fly to Ukraine because Ukrainian sky is not safe. And try to travel from Poland by bus or train system, how many of American politicians did, and go to Ukraine. She will be greeted by our government, I'm sure, because she's kind of a famous person. She's gonna do better mission than Angelina Jolie did, because she will be very well appreciated there. And when she see what's going on in Ukraine, when our officials would help her to understand, maybe make some meeting with wounded soldiers, with amputee, 2-3-year-old babies, with terribly wounded civilians, and listen to those stories, go to those totally demolished city in Aleppo style we see in Ukraine, like Bucha, like Mariupol. No, she cannot go there, but she can see some video, she can listen to some witnesses, she can see Chernihiv, she can see Kyiv, center of Kyiv is bombed recently. So maybe she will change her opinion, and maybe she will deliver better message to Americans, and maybe she will apologize, because my Ukraine and my America deserves apology from Tulsi Gabbard. This is my message.
Yes, Pani Oksana, that's what I wanted to also add. I believe, it's my personal opinion, that unfortunately I do not see enough effort, or I would say a lack of effort, from the Ukrainian officials to try to communicate with the Republican Party and Republican leaders and Republican politicians and congressmen and so on. And it doesn't have to be Republican, it should be bipartisan, including, for instance, the Tulsi Gabbard. She was a Democrat until like a few days ago. And maybe the President Zelensky, not necessarily himself, but somebody from his office, from the media relations office, may officially invite Tulsi Gabbard and others, including some media person, like, for example, Joe Rogan, for example, Tucker Carlson, okay, other conservative media journalists, bloggers, opinion makers, invite them to Ukraine. Have a good, open conversation. Let them see for themselves what is happening there. Because I am deeply confident that Ukraine and the United States share so much in common in the pursuit of happiness, in pursuit of freedom, freedom of speech. And I would really like to see Ukraine resemble the United States, the good old United States like we used to know them, like until recently. And we're natural allies. And I don't believe it's a good idea to have relationship between the countries based on one-party opinion. That's wrong. And that comes to the quality of politics and the question to Ukrainian officials. Gentlemen, you should be smarter. You should think forward for years ahead, because here we may have Democrats, we may have turned Republican, the Congress may turn Republican quite soon, and you should be able to communicate and have good relationship, and the most importantly, understanding from both sides of the aisle and from both sides of the table. And having the dialogue, having an open dialogue, and have an opportunity to ask questions, tough questions, that would make it more productive, I would say. So my recommendation to both sides, American Republicans, Tulsi Gabbard, Tucker Carlson, should be ready to go to Ukraine, and from Ukrainian side, they should probably have an official invitation to those people, just like they did for some other people, for, I don't know, Angelina Jolie or Sean Penn or others, Hollywood stars. But those people do not actually have this kind of influence, a political influence. But speaking to American politicians, especially conservative politicians, actually may help to break that ice that somehow is being built artificially between American conservatives and Ukrainian people and Ukrainian politicians. I don't think, I strongly believe this is due to miscommunication, a lack of communication, a lack of understanding, and this can and should be changed.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Thank you, Andrey. And my final advice, if I can do that, to politicians, to mass media stars and journalists, if you call yourself journalist like Mr. Tucker Carlson, or if you call yourself politician and mass media influencer like Tulsi Gabbard and many others, instead to listen to Russian propaganda, dirty Russian propaganda from Russia Today, which is still available in the United States, which is absolutely nonsense, better maybe to have first-hand sources about subject you're trying to talk. You're trying to talk to hundreds, millions of Americans, and they trust you, they follow you, they support you because they think you are delivering the truth. But I have to disappoint you guys. You delivering a total lie, and you delivering pre-digested Russia Today propaganda, which has to be forbidden and has to be kind of blocked and stopped in the United States. And as a Ukrainian-born American citizen, I'm truly in shock. Americans are digesting that false propaganda. And if a person like Tulsi Gabbard, who was trying to become a president of the United States, she has to have her eyes wide open. Her mind has to be clear and acceptive to real truth, real information. And again, my advice, you want to know the truth, buy a ticket, fly to Europe, go to Ukraine, and it's going to change your life. It's going to change your view, political view, and you're going to be really, really valuable person in American politics, because you're going to talk, you're going to speak from your heart, not just reading some titles, very, very kind of doubtful news, what you're doing right now, Mrs. Tulsi Gabbard and Mr. Tucker Carlson and many, many others. Hopefully they're going to listen to us, but we have to express our feelings, and we cannot just be silent when we see such a terrible, wrong picture painted in wrong colors. Instead of colorful picture, they just give us black and white, and they don't even try to find the truth. Thank you, Andrew. It was very pleasant time talking to you, and I hope it will be very helpful for Americans to just to think. We don't convince anybody what to do. Just think and make your own conclusion on truthful information.
My pleasure.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Diaspora UA, Oksana, Davyda, and Andrey Azarkin were with you today. We will see you in future. Take care. Thank you for your attention, guys.
Bye.